everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac, Afterbirth Plus. I'm just making sure I got space on the PC. Oh. We got space for hundreds, if not perhaps millions of Isaac episodes. Technically not wrong, as long as each episode was just a couple of megabytes. This is my first run since being back from vacation. I was away for a little bit. WFSY 6732. It wasn't really away for vacation. I never want to make it seem like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, I got such a hard life. But really, like, we left to go snowboarding, like, Friday at 1 p.m. And we came back Monday at 1 p.m. So, in the normal 40-hour work week sort of perspective, we basically had a 3-day weekend. Most of the time, we take a 1-day weekend, which is why it seemed like it was so long. But the duties of my normal job also sometimes feel like a weekend in and of themselves. So trust me, I'm not complaining. Sorry, I had to go to the nerd voice there because I was worried we would get hit. And if you go to the nerd voice, your video game prowess goes up 72%. It's a known fact. That was easy enough. Yeah, of course we'll start with Gimpy. This is not a negative at all. Yeah, I was away this weekend. We went to Whistler, snowboarding. Some of you may have seen the video my wife posted on YouTube or on her Twitter account that I've then retweeted multiple times with various edits. Yeah, I'm an extreme novice, I will say. I feel, I mean, I'm not embarrassed about it. You know, one thing that's really nice, I think, about getting older, is that it takes a lot more for me to be embarrassed. Like, I'm embarrassed by much different things than I was when I was a teenager and a young adult. What was the most embarrassing thing for me as, like, a teenager? Well, obviously, like, anybody making a joke at my expense was, like, it started playing the Kill Bill theme song. You know the one. I'm probably not going to go to the curse room here, by the way. But the other thing is not being good at something the first time I tried it. Ooh, how embarrassing. I'm learning. I just started French class and I can't even string together a complete sentence. This is unacceptable. This is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. Now that I'm a little older, I don't get embarrassed. Ooh, okay. Now, it's a good turn, but it's not a great item. Let's be honest. Take me down on this floor. You start to realize, you know, that's one of the pieces of the pearls of wisdom that comes from, you know, having lived a little bit longer is you don't expect to be good at things the first time you try them. I think it's a very, it's a young person's folly, you know, is to assume that if you're not good at something right off the bat, you're just not good at it at all. Or you can't get good at it, you know? I see it, trust me, I've been there. You know, I was of above average scholastic ability. Teachers would be like, hey, it's the second grade. Let me introduce you to something. It's called multiplication. A day later, I know my times tables. I'm like, I'm a genius. I'm so good at this. Nothing could possibly stop me. That's pretty, you know why that is? It's because sometimes schools, it can be a little easy. Depending on, you know, your perspective and your own talents. But not all skills are like that, you know? Those of us out there who might be a little bit more book smart as a result of having read a lot for no, because we didn't have any other sources of entertainment as a child, because I grew up in the pre-internet age, might have been better at school. But if you hand me, you know, a 16mm wrench and say, hey, go change your oil, I go, first off, this isn't the right tool, and secondly, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do here. Anyway, it's a great expression. I did say it to Apollo on Twitter, but I agree one way or the other with this sentence. Always remember, the master has failed more times than the beginner has ever tried. If you really want to do something, you know, you're gonna have to eat it sometimes. This is a very roundabout way of me proving that I'm not mad by having an essay-length discussion about not being embarrassed. I'm the Wojak who is crying but has the mask on that looks like he's smiling. No, I mean, I was smiling the whole time. By the end, well, like the whole second day, we snowboarded for 2 days. By the end of the second day, I was able to safely make it down a green circle, which is admittedly the easiest route. It's not the bunny hill, but I was able to successfully make it down a green circle without falling and without requiring any greater form of supervision. That's the start. And I gotta be honest, I got to the point where I finally understood why people have fun with snow sports. Previously, I've said it probably in Isaac many times. Oh, that's the spirit. But I've said, you know, I don't really get skiing. I don't really get snowboarding. When I skied, all I was concerned with was my own survival. And my sequel, Survival Goes West. Oh, that's beautiful. Yikes. And sure, we'll still grab them. And we got a luck up there. That's incredibly good. This is a great floor for us. After the second day of snowboarding, I was like, you know what? I get it. I understand now. I'm having fun doing this. So I'm eager to go again at some point. Oh my god, it's so good, dude. 66 damage. Might, you know, put a cork in it for a week, because, you know, we went last Friday as well to give me a little bit of a base coat before we actually went to a more serious resort where you could definitely die. But yeah, it's the freaking coupon, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. Hold on here. This is a spicy run here. It got pretty out of control pretty quickly. But yeah, now I'm like, if you are a snowboarder, I get it. You know what? Let's try this. I regret nothing. I regret little. We can go to the curse room now, too, if we wanted. I think we do want, by the way. Because, hold on, how are we doing with the D6? It must be far away. Yeah, it's not even close. You know what? Let's be smarter then. Let's not go to the curse room right away. I mean, let's be real. We have 66.6 damage already here. I don't know why I thought I could get a battery charge. Let's just, if we don't get the coupon re-rolled into anything, that's okay. Life goes on. We should have done this differently. Never mind. We're going to get the coupon re-rolled into something else. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, suffice to say, I now finally understand. I never thought that people were joking or, like, lying about having fun with snow sports. But I was always like, you know, I'm most singularly concerned with just trying to survive. Now I was like, you know what? I'm not exactly shredding it, but I get why this is enjoyable. I do. Runebag is very good in and of itself. So that was my weekend. It was a fun time. Hold on. I think we should just buy a PhD, dude. I know we're taking a long time on this floor, but my honest advice is to enjoy it, because I don't think we'll be taking too much time from the rest of this, from this point onwards. Please? That's another drowsy pill, right? Why can I only remember the useless ones? Sorry. I'm drowsy. Not technically useless, but I mean, like, come on. There's gotta be its own suite of logical fallacies in Isaac. The most common logical fallacy in Isaac is reductio ad synergistica. That's an appeal to synergy. That's when you say Isaac's heart is bad because it's horrible, and people go, yeah, well, it's not bad if you get this item and this item and this item and this item and this item. That's not a valid argument. I'm here to tell you, okay? Take it from a rhetorician. Rhetorician. A rhetora technician. I didn't think I could find a third one, but I did. It's also like I feel like a baby for talking about this. I understand. Let me preface this. Vancouver is the mildest city, I believe, in Canada. If it's not the mildest, it's the second mildest, and Victoria is actually the mildest, as far as temperature goes. In terms of wealth inequality, it's extreme. It's mild in a tempergistic sense, which is not a real word. But anyway, Suffice it to say, though, it is icy right now. There's snow on the ground, which sometimes does not happen on an annual basis. But there's been snow on the ground for 2 days, light flurries, and it's -8. Nah, we don't really want that. -8 Celsius, okay? So it's not, I recognize other parts of the world. I don't know why other parts of the world, and particularly if you live in the part of the country that spans from Alberta to Ontario, which included me when I grew up, I'll tell you. We take pride in our own misery for some reason. We think that it's, I don't know, it's like a badge of courage to live through terrible times, even though, you know, you got heaters and stuff like that. -8, that's crazy. Where I live, it's -400. Move! Are you insane? I didn't mean to hit that. That's not, how did humans survive there? I'm just saying, okay, like, I think that if you're bragging about how miserable it is where you live, then you got to come up with a compelling reason, you know, to stay there. Otherwise, you know, if you have control over where you live and you're complaining about how miserable it is, get out, dude. Go move to Costa Rica or something. Anyway, I'm not trying to say you shouldn't be proud of where you live. Suffice it to say, I'm just saying it's very frustrating to have people brag about how inhospitable the climate of their domiciles are when you're complaining as well. The thing is, I'm not really complaining that it's cold in Vancouver, okay? That doesn't bother me at all. You know, I've got winter attire. I grew up a little bit further east where it gets much, much colder. And, you know, occasionally, last year we traveled to Iceland. It was cold. The year before that was Champions of Fire 2 in New York City in December. It was very cold. You know, we have appropriate clothing. I mean, we were just in Whistler. It was like -20. What? This is like -16, but still. The reason is annoying is because Vancouver is not built for the winter season. In particular, a very, very, very small proportion of people in Vancouver understand how to drive in the snow. How do you drive in the snow? Well, I mean, you know the expression, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If you have the means, getting some all-season tires or some snow tires will help you out, for sure. It's not a necessity, necessarily, especially, I'll admit, in a city where it may not snow once per year. But I'll tell you, I was pretty stoked when I was coming down the Sea to Sky Highway yesterday. You know, you're 6 feet away from plunging over into the Pacific Ocean at any given time. I was pretty happy we had some extra grip. Secondly, oh my God, what are you in a rush for? Slow down and give more space to the people in front of you. I think we're going to start with Perthrow, and then we're going to try the D6. I'm not really a huge fan of that, but it's okay. We can take Yarrow with us. I was just stunned yesterday. You know, like, we don't have a good plow system. We don't have good salting systems, you know. The parts of the highway were real nasty. Like icy, black ice, you know. Enough snow on the ground to compromise your traction. And people were still like, nah, I gotta... You know, they're in like a Kia Forte with normal tires, and they're going 100 kilometers an hour. And then the only other thing you need to know is, like, watch the conditions of the road. And, you know, if you see it's icy, slow down. And if you lose traction, don't slam on the brakes. These are the only lessons you need to know to be an above-average driver in the snow. If you lose traction, don't slam on the brakes. Look where you want to go and apply firm pressure to the gas pedal. Not enough to, you know, springboard you into the other lane, but, you know, if you hit the brakes, you lose all control. It's like skiing or snowboarding, you know. As long as you got momentum and you're looking where you want to go, you can pull yourself out of a lot of stuff. But nobody here, well, very few people here respect that. Saw a lot of cars covered in snow, you know, like crashed at the side of the road. And I was happy to not be them. But at the same time, I was also like, man, I'm really glad I wasn't driving next to you when it happened. And nobody here, they don't clean off their back windows. They don't They don't take the snow off their roofs, so the first time they hit a stoplight, the snow falls down onto their windshield or it hits the car behind them. Anyway, that's why, you know, yesterday we had to drive. We had to get home. But today I'm like, dude, I'm not going anywhere. It's a disaster out there. So I think I probably told the story like once per winter. But when I lived in Korea, I lived in like the hottest city in mainland Korea. Jeju Island was probably a little bit hotter. I didn't go because, you know, I was trying to save my money. But I lived in the hottest city in mainland South Korea, and it snowed one day, and people, the city, I mean, they're just not equipped for it, is the best way to say it, you know? I guess we're not going over there. Very few, there were no plows, very few people owned shovels. People, like, they were in front of their businesses and their homes, like, with these tiny straw brooms trying to sweep off, like, you know, 100 centimeters of snow. Probably wasn't 100 centimeters. It's probably like 20 centimeters, but still. You know, here's the thing. If you live in a place where it's colder right now, like pretty much the rest of Canada, to be fair, yeah, it is more unpleasant for you, for sure. And I can't deny that. You are more miserable right now. That being said, at least, you know, if you live in, like, you know, Laval, if you live in Alert, if you live in Fort McMurray, at least the city is equipped to deal with the snow. That doesn't make it any less cold, but it does make it at least safer. Yesterday I was cold and I was also like, we could be killed. People in Ontario when I was growing up, they respect the snow. People in Vancouver, they don't respect the snow. They still they predominantly believe, like, you know, there's nothing that can be done about it. Well, we were talking when we were in Whistler, because whenever it snows in Vancouver, it's like regional news. It's a major thing. Yo, that's a lot of cash. And, you know, one of the snowboarding instructors was from Quebec, and she was like, I remember a couple of years ago, I looked it up. The annual snow clearing budget for Vancouver is equal to what it is for one day in Montreal. Now, to be fair, that's probably appropriate a lot of the years. But if it snows more than once, you're setting yourself up for a recipe for disaster. Anyway, I've talked enough about banal minutia. Suffice it to say, it's good to be back. January is approximately halfway done, which is nice. I've said it before, I don't really like January as a month. We got some positive things going on, like it's Kate's birthday. Today, actually, we're going to go out for a nice dinner tonight. But for the most part, I like... January is... It's a dour month. Hold on. Not going to get a charge unless we got Krampus here. We didn't get Krampus. I'm going to tell you, though. I'm definitely taking this. I feel like we should go for the gusto here. You know, particularly right now, like, the weather is bad. Which, yeah, I understand in most of the northern hemisphere, the weather's not very good in January. But usually it's good here, but it's not very good right now. There's also, like, I mean, Vancouverites are, they're a special breed, you know? I was walking around today, had to go buy some groceries. I saw, like, at least 25 people biking. It's -8 Celsius right now, and the roads are covered in snow. Trust me, I get it. If you bike to work, you gotta bike, you know? A lot of people here don't own cars, because most of the time, to be honest, you don't really need one. So you don't really have too many choices, but I was also like, man, biking to work in -8 degree weather on snow is hilarious. I was watching them, they'd come up to, like, stoplights, the brakes on the bike, I don't even know if they make, well, surely they make winter tires for bikes, but these guys did not have them. Anytime they had to come to a stop, they would hit the brakes, skid, and then they would put both feet down on the road to do, like, a Fred Flintstone style stop. That's what I mean when I say people, they're not equipped for the snow because we don't experience it that often. I'm just waiting, by the way, dude. I live in a mild city, but one day Calgary's gonna get like 45 days in a row of rain. Twitter's just gonna be like, oh, bud, it's so wet. I haven't been outside in so long. This is ridiculous, bud. And I'm gonna be like, oh, 45 days in a row, huh? Whoa, that's something. You know, last year Vancouver had 74 days in a row of snow. Jeez, you must feel real silly right now, don't you? Sorry. This is the first time in like 5 years that both Calgary and Vancouver have competitive NHL teams. So the intra-provincial rivalry has been heightened a little bit, for sure. I apologize to my Albertan viewers. And, you know, you might be like, what about Edmonton? For some reason, I can't muster the same level of fervor for Edmonton. But I will say, whenever somebody tweets me and they're like, okay, well, that's well, actually, you know what? Let's black rune this one and get the heck out of here. Thank God we got up to 70 damage, the bare minimum required. Whenever somebody tweets me and they're like, I hate the Calgary Flames, I'm like, I too find them to be I don't like them as a sports team, although I'm sure many good people live there and cheer for them, and mostly it's just a result of where I live. Yeah, we'll take Yarrow with this. I mean, we could do Boss Rush, but, I mean, let's be honest, we don't really seem to need it right now. I'm like, yeah, I agree. When somebody's like, I hate the Edmonton Oilers, I'm like, preach it, brother. I'm playing both sides so that no matter what, I come out on top. Take the Polaroid. It's a heck of a room. Alright, I can take one. I cannot take the other. But the one was very interesting for sure. Now, because I understand we could black rune that, I have a hard time believing it's worth it. And I also believe we will get another Yarrow rune. Bless me. So my hope is that we can use black rune in advance and then also get value out of Yarrow. So, like, I didn't even think about it, but Succubus is just unbelievably good when you have a damage stat of 70. Nothing will live longer than like a couple of seconds. They're all I'm drowsy, apparently. Like, we don't even need to be in an enemy's like field of view. As long as Succubus touches them, it's pretty much over. I don't want to be here. Don't go, don't go, don't go. Okay, good work. Little spooky, but good work. Please let me out. Thank you, because I would like to open these. Probably not worth it, but that's okay. 106 damage when we stand in Succubus's AoE. That's so stupid. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful thing. Oh, and some spirit hearts for me. Don't mind if I already did. Not the fastest Mom's hard kill. I think, you know, with Mom's knife, you can still get faster kills, but I mean, this is some of the safest kills we've ever had, for sure. Without a doubt. And we have incredible, like, value with AoE. Like, no... Mom's knife, you gotta be a little touchy on the rooms with a lot of crowds. Succubus literally is like... We don't have to do basically anything at all. And how strange it is to be anything at all. I know we didn't get our reward, but on the flip side, what do you get for the man who already has everything? Something my wife struggles with every Christmas. It's not, you know, because I have a lot of possessions. It's because I have no desire for possessions. That's another thing I don't get embarrassed by. You know, the older I get, I was mentioning earlier, there's certain things that don't embarrass me and certain things that do. Before I went on a really ill-advised, overly long rant about snow. You know, when I was a teenager, people would always be like, you know, what do you want for Christmas? And I'd be like, I don't really want anything. People would be like, that's a sign of, like, you know, depression or something like that. Something's gone wrong. As a 31-year-old, I'm here to tell you, if you are a child who wants for almost nothing, or a young adult who wants for almost nothing, I'm right there with you. One of the most frustrating, and this is a very first world problem, I'll admit, but one of the most frustrating parts of the holiday season for me is trying to figure out just what the heck I want. Like, I'm much happier to, that might be a Yara. I'm much happier, like, I don't mind a fool and his money are soon parted. If I ask Kate what she wants for Christmas, she tells me I buy it. Easy money. What? Hold on. I knew it. Kate asked me what I want for Christmas. I'm like, I can't think of anything. Can I just buy you another gift instead? Alright, well, we got Eden's Blessing, which is sick. And in fact, like, a lot of this... Okay, we'll definitely fight Mega Satan. So I think we'll just open the door. Then use the D6. There's some decent stuff here, dude. This should be a pretty easy setup. I don't want possessions. I don't know, maybe there is something wrong with me. Because you're even like, because sometimes I tell it to people, they're like, yeah, I prefer to spend money on experiences rather than possessions. And I'm like, no, that's not really me either. I think I'm just very easily contented. Like if you were like, hey Ryan, do you want to go to Barcelona tonight? I would be like, that sounds pretty cool. Sure, I could find something to do there that would enrich my life. If you were like, hey Ryan, you want to watch, you know, the A&E marathon of Hoarders that's on tonight, I would be like, that sounds fantastic. I think I'm just very easily amused, is really what it comes down to. I don't know how to explain it. I don't really have anything else to say. We're 24 minutes into the run. We're pretty much at the... We're at the nadir. Is that word used properly? Give me a second here. Google Assistant. Nadir. The point of the celestial sphere directly opposite its zenith. Yeah, okay. See, the zenith is like the height. The nadir is like its low point. I don't mean it's at its low point. I mean it's on its decline temporally speaking, because we're done with the episode here, because it was the greatest run we've ever had in our entire lives. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!